رئيس جامعة العلوم الإسلامية الماليزية، سعادة رئيس جامعة السلطان الشريف علي الإسلامية، سعادة رئيس جامعة فطاني، سعادة رؤساء الجامعات الإندونيسية، أيها الحفل الكريم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي خلق الإنسان وعلمه البيان وأرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على سائر الأديان. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله المبعوث إلى كافة الأنام.
It is our great honor to welcome once again the President of University of Darussalam Gontor, the Rector of UNIDA Gontor, the Rector of University Science Islam Malaysia, the Rector of Sultan Sharif Ali Islamic University of Brunei Darussalam, the Rector of Fatoni University of Thailand. We welcome you all once again to the International Conference on Integration of Contemporary and Islamic Knowledge in Islamic Universities. Saturday, 12th of December 2015 at University of Darussalam Gontor, the Fountain of Knowledge, Indonesia. Let us open this seminar by reciting the Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are now very pleased to invite the Honorable Moderator, Dr. Dihyatun Maskun. He is currently Vice Rector of International Relations. He took his undergraduate degree at the International Islamic University of Medina and his master's degree at University of Punjab Lahore, Pakistan, and his doctoral degree at University of Milya, India. Please welcome him to the stage with a round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa mawala. Allahumma ja'alna mimman yastami'una al-qawl wa yattabi' ahsana. Ayyuhas sada wa sayyidat, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It gives me immense pleasure for the first season of our discussion concerning about integration of contemporary and Islamic knowledge. I will invite our distinguished guests to deliver their keynote speech. I'll be very pleased if Professor Dr. Musa Ahmad, Rector of USIM, would you mind please to come forward? Dr. Hamid Fahmi Zarkashi, Director of Postgraduate Program, UNIDA Gontor. I'll please if you could come with us. Then also I will invite Dr. Abdul Nasir bin Haji Rani, Dean of Faculty of Economics and Science Management, UNISA, Brunei Darussalam, and my dear brother, Professor Dr. Shukri Longputih, Deputy Rector for International Relations, Patani University. Thank you and welcome. We are now going to listen together keynote speech from our 4 partners university. For the first instance, I will invite Dr. Hamid Fahmi Zarkashi, and floor is yours. Thank you.
الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين وعلى أمور الدنيا والدين والصلاة والسلام على محمد أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First, I would like to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me the first occasion to deliver the keynote speech. But actually, I'm not the guest here, I'm the host. And I deserve to be chosen in the last occasion, in the last chance. But no problem, I'm very sorry for our guest, for our rector, that I precede you to deliver this keynote speech. Concerning about the topic of our seminar, this is new laptop, so well, there's a thing that we always debating about: what is the nature of Islamization and how to do that, and what is the practice that is going on in our universities. The debate result in many ideas and even on the nomenclature of the Islamization. The term Islamization is very popular in Malaysia, especially in Institute of Islamic Thought and Civilization, ISTEC, whose founder was Naqib Al-Attas, the pioneer of Islamization. And the second is International Islamic University, whose idea of Islamization is inspired by the idea of Ismail Raji Al-Faruqi. But in Indonesia, not many accept the term Islamization, because Islamization, according to them, is quite arrogant, as everything should be Islamized. They think that Islamization is something like rejection of something not Islamic. And by that way, they introduce another term, what they call it integration. But in the other place, there's another term, what they call in Bahasa Indonesia, mengilmukan Islam, to scientify Islam. This is, I think, the same arrogance. They think that Islam should be scientific, should be put into scientific discourse. I disagree really with this idea, because Islam from the very beginning is already scientific. So we don't need to scientify Islam or objectify Islam. What is the meaning of Islamization is something that not many people, even scholars, conversant about this idea. So I would like to briefly explain what is Islamization all about and what is the practice in our university here. The first thing that I would like to explain here is the need. Why do we need integration and Islamization? My title here is integration leading toward Islamization, because integration is something something that should be going on before doing Islamization. The first problem is that of knowledge. The greatest challenge of Muslim Ummah that arisen in our age here is knowledge. Knowledge that is lost the true purpose. The knowledge which is produced by Western civilization, which is very secular. And even now we can say that Western civilization has nothing to do with religion. So we can say that knowledge in the West is not based on any religion, even Christianity. The third, knowledge, which has the first time in history, has brought about the chaos of these three kingdoms, which is the animal kingdom, vegetal, and mineral kingdom. Because of knowledge and technology, the three kingdom of human that provided for human being is destroyed. Knowledge also knowledge of the Western or contemporary knowledge is produce confusion and skepticism. Knowledge also, contemporary knowledge also produce or elevate doubts and conjecture as scientific methods and regarded as the valid one. Another problem is that our education system is dualistic in nature. One is religious education, the other is non-religious education. While in the past, Islam never have this kind of dichotomic vision and perspective. So this problem should be evaluated and should be solved in the process of Islamization. Excuse me, can I have the full script in the computer? I cannot read because I need to use the spec. Come. This new program. Technology sometimes is yeah. Well, another reason why we should Islamize or integrate. In the West, even the people, the Western scholar admit that in the science there is no God. They say, I quote from the book entitled Defeat of the Mind, what they call God was no longer the supreme being, but collective reason. From now on, God existed within human intelligence, not beyond it, guiding people, action, and shaping their thought without their knowing it. This means that there is no God. God is already become our mind. Knowledge become God. So, many books in the West is written, Western knowledge, Western science is regarded as godless. This is the problem. From another scholar, from Said Hussein Nasser, he very bluntly declared that the secular view of universe that sees no trace of divine. There is no God in the universe. The second one, mechanization of the word picture upon the model of machine and a clock. The universe is regarded as machine. There is no creator. God has nothing to do, and God has no longer any business with the world. The legacy of dualism. In Cartesian dualism, we already know what we call res cogitans and res extension. In philosophy, we used to say extended substance and rational substance. The two things that never come into integration. The result of this dualism is that there are the objective truths that everybody should accept, and there are rational truths that everybody also should accept, and the two cannot be integrated. Nowadays, we have the problem of LGBT. From before 1980s, almost all psychologists, the scientists of psychology, say that LGBT, gay, lesbian is abnormal. But nowadays, almost the whole scientists of psychology say that LGBT is very normal. This is the change of the social science, and this is what they call objective reality that produce objective truth. So in Islam, we cannot say that this is objective truth and that is rational truth. We have to combine and we cannot separate it in our knowledge. The next, we have to realize that despite the fact between Western knowledge, modern Western knowledge, and or in the secular knowledge and Islam, there is something in common that we cannot deny. There are truths in scientific discovery that we have to accept. All this technology come from the scientific discovery of the Western civilization. We cannot reject that. For those elements that are contain Western value, Western secular worldview, and etc., etc., we have to take it by the way of de-secularize it or de-westernize it. There are Western values that we cannot accept in Islam, therefore we have to liberate our mind from this Western worldview. The step of after the de-westernization is the integration of the positive aspect of non-Western aspect with Islamic one. However, integration will not result in true nature of Islamic knowledge unless it is followed by the process of Islamization. What is Islamization all about? I would like to elaborate only two schools that have the idea of Islamization. One is the school of Attassian and the other is Faruqian school. The working definition of Islamization here is the liberation of man first from magical, mythological, animistic, national cultural tradition opposed to Islam, and then from secular control over his reason and language. Islamization is also liberation from subservience to his physical demand, which incline toward the secular injustice to his true self or nature. Islamization is a process of devolution to original nature of human being, what we call in our language is fitrah. What is to do? What is the step for Islamizing contemporary knowledge? First, we have to isolation of key element concept like that which magical, secular, animistic, cultural tradition, and so on. Then make up Western culture and civilization from every branch of contemporary knowledge. The next, we have to do critical examination of that contemporary knowledge. We have to examine the method of modern sciences, the concept, the presupposition, the symbol, empirical and rational aspect, theory of knowledge, classification of science, theory of universe, like Darwin theory of evolution, I think should be criticized whether the idea has the idea of God or not. The interpretation of the origin of the world, the presupposition of existence of external world in the uniformity of nature and rationality of natural process, the concept of causality, the concept of cause and effect, and so on and so on. However, one cannot carry out those critical examination unless he himself knows the concept, the theory, the method of contemporary knowledge as well as those of Islamic knowledge. Therefore, mastering both contemporary and Islamic discipline of knowledge intensively is prerequisite of Islamization. So, the one who knows only natural science cannot do Islamization. The one who knows only Sharia cannot carry out the process of Islamization. We are waiting for the scholars who knows both knowledge, and he is expert in this knowledge until the level of at least master or PhD. We recently listened that one of Chinese have 4 PhD degree in China. 4 PhD degree in different discipline of knowledge. So I think we should hope also in the future there will be somebody who got the PhD on economic and PhD on Sharia at the same time. So this is the real integration in the Muslim Ummah in the future, inshallah. So when we de-westernize the concept, the theory, the method of Western knowledge, then later we have to infuse the value of Islamic knowledge, the value of Islamic teaching into that knowledge. So we integrate the value, not the method, the value of Islamic knowledge, including inside that is the concept of deen, religion, man, knowledge, justice, right action, universities, education, and so on. For example, in economic, we cannot talk about economy unless we know the nature and the concept of human being in terms of individual and social. Because economy will talk about the welfares of human being. We cannot talk about the welfare unless we can talk about the concept of falah in Islam. So there is so many difference between Islamic economic and Islamic Sharia, Islamic law or Islamic muamalat. This is only generally that in detail. I think we have to also integrate what is the method employed in Islamic intellectual tradition and what is the method employed in Western intellectual tradition, whether the two has compatibility or not. We have to examine critically in academic atmosphere. In addition of that, we cannot infuse Islamic element and key concept unless we master first major element of worldview of Islam. So mastering worldview of Islam is also prerequisite of Islamization. We cannot talk about Islam, we cannot talk about knowledge unless the knowledge which is produced in Islamic intellectual tradition. So for those who want to carry out the Islamization process has to know so many basic concepts in Islam, and that is in the level of master and PhD student. The other school is Faruqian school. There are so many idea and concept that come up from the idea of this gang, triple IT gang. There are so many revision of the plan, work plan of the Islamization process, but I would like to present here only two kind of discourses. First, this is from Rajab, is the one of the scholars in triple IT, articulating the Islamic paradigm of knowledge, meaning identifying what is the paradigm of knowledge in Islam by establishing Tawhidi episteme. This is a very famous book of Ismail Faruqi, Tawhid and Science. I think this is the holy book of this gang. Yeah. The second one, developing the Quranic methodology, how to understand the Quran based on the scientific approach. By transforming theology into a conceptual framework and by elaborating the paradigm of knowledge that had been employed in Islamic intellectual history. The third, developing methodology dealing with the Quran based on the discipline of each knowledge. So the approach of the student who study science, for example, to the Quran is very different from those who study, for example, humanities. So this is the thing that we have to do in the future. The fourth, developing methodology for dealing with Sunnah by understanding Sunnah according to the present context. The fifth is examining Islamic intellectual heritage by examining what are accepted in unaccepted concept in Islamic intellectual tradition. There is so many concepts in Islamic intellectual history that we have to examine. For example, the idea of Mu'tazila is very rational, but we cannot accept Mu'tazila in the present days because it's too much rational. In the idea of Ikhwanus Safa, for example, Ikhwanus Safa is very rational, but it is too much rational. We have to examine that. The idea of Al-Farabi, for example, is good for building the idea of state in Islam. But in other idea, like the idea of God, he is conflicting with Imam Ghazali, and we have to reconcile and choose which one is Islamic and which one is un-Islamic. The sixth one is developing methodology for dealing the Western intellectual heritage by examining what is accepted and unaccepted concept in the West. Finally, to produce, this is what is the program of IIIT, is to produce a textbook representing Islamized knowledge and subject matter for genuine Islamic perspective. This program is going on until now, but it seems to be failed because the idea of Islamization is not clear yet, and people asking, even very recently I visited the International Islamic University in Islamabad and International Islamic University in Malaysia, and asking whether the idea of Islamization is already practiced in these two universities, which is the project of Islamization. They say it is still far away from the target. Yeah. In Pakistan, people asking, where is the textbook for teaching Islamic economy? They are asking, and how to teach the Islamic economy, and how to encourage the student to teach Islamic economy, while we are knowing only the conventional economy. So there should be someone who knows Islamic economic by knowing its conventional economic as well as Sharia. The idea of Rajab is described like this. First is developing Quran, Hadith, and so until producing the textbook. The other one is the parallel studies of the Quran and Hadith with the study of Western worldview. And then next, the study of practice of Prophet companion and critical study of Western epistemology, in the study of thought of classical Muslim scholars, along with the critical study of Western methodology, theory, and concept. And last one, the critical creative study of Islamic intellectual heritage, and selected study on the Western theory of knowledge. And the result of this study is integrated into one theory, what we call it the Islamization theory. What is the practice in our university, Darussalam? We also doing the very beginning. This is only the beginning of all long distance journey that we start. But when we tell the lecturer in International Islamic University in Malaysia, they say that we are more advanced than what they have done, because we teach the student of undergraduate level with 9 subjects of Islamization. And in International Islamic University Malaysia, they only teach 1 subject of Islamization. In the first semester, the student have to take Islamic worldview first, 1, and Hadith studies. The second, Islamic worldview second, and Quranic studies. The third semester, the student have to take history of Islamic science and humanities. And the fourth, science in Islam in intellectual tradition. The sixth, they have to study Quranic studies for respective department, according to the discipline of knowledge. The seventh, Islamization of contemporary knowledge, theory and practice. And the 8th semester, they have to write a thesis, at least if they know the Islamization process, they have to write something related to the process of the program of Islamization. For the postgraduate program, the student of postgraduate program have to take 48 credit hours, and all department have the compulsory subject of first Islamic worldview. The second, Islamic worldview is the prerequisite of Islamization. The second, Quran and Hadith studies. The third, Islamization of contemporary knowledge in theory. and the fourth, research methodology and epistemology, and the fifth, Tawhid and Islamic civilization. The postgraduate students are encouraged. This is what is lacked in Islamabad. When I asked the teacher, do you encourage the student to write on Islamization? Oh, no. It's up to the student to write whatever they want to write. This is the problem that we have here to solve. We encourage the student to do integration, because the postgraduate level in University of Dar es Salaam is the core of Islamization, and the person or the institution that are responsible for doing Islamization for all departments in the future. In the PhD level, I finished here. Only one slide. For the postgraduate program, the postgraduate program students should take 72 credit hours. This is new regulation for all departments, but the subject taken by the PhD student is not 72 subject or 30 or something like that, but students have to work at research more than what they have in the class. The first, they have to take Islamization of contemporary knowledge case study for certain discipline. The second, renewal of Islamic thought, pembaharuan pemikiran Islam, research methodology on Aqidah and Kalam, and research work and dissertation on the fifth one. And since the name of the department is Islamic theology, Aqidah and Islamic philosophy, the student will learn about the Islamic philosophy as the process of Islamization. The postgraduate students are encouraged to work for their dissertation in the Islamization of contemporary knowledge, leading to the construction of new concept, new theory, new methodology of certain discipline of Islamic knowledge. We hope from this university will come up the theory of Islamic psychology, for example. Will come up with the theory of Islamic political science. Will come up with the theory of physics in Islam. This is what we think in the future. All the students, undergraduate, postgraduate, master and PhD, this is non-academic one, have to memorize one juz of the Quran in every year, half juz in every semester. The undergraduate student should follow mentoring program where the senior student supervise the junior in discussing certain issues of Islamization. So Islamization become living debate, living issue that the student talk about it in everywhere. Students are to master Arabic and English as a preparation for writing their thesis. We cannot talk about Islamization unless we know Arabic language. So Arabic language is compulsory for the student who want to enroll in master and PhD degree, and they have to write either in English or Arabic in the dissertation and the thesis. Thank you very much for this short explanation on the first session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Bapak Dr. Hamid Fahmi Zarkashi, who elaborates about the concept of Islamization of knowledge from both schools, Alatas and Faruqi, with very special dimension of Islamization as far as UNIDA Gontor is concerned. Untuk keynote speaker yang kedua, dengan rasa sangat hormat, kami mohon Profesor Dr. Musa Ahmad, Rector of USIM University Science Islam Malaysia, untuk berkenan menyampaikan. Terima kasih.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Dengan nama Allah yang Maha Pengasih lagi Maha Penyayang, selawat dan salam ke atas junjungan baginda Rasulullah SAW. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Yang dihormati semua Pak Rektor daripada UNIDA, daripada UNISA, daripada Fatani dan daripada beberapa universiti lain yang ada di Indonesia ini. Right. First of all, I would like to congratulate UNIDA for organizing this SeIPTI conference for the third time, and to my knowledge, I think this is the most structured organization of SeIPTI that has been organized before. So congratulations to the Orustia and the whole what you call it team of UNIDA organizing this conference. All right. And congratulations as well, for being awarded, with the what you call it for the PhD program that has been approved, by the government. Okay, and I think the certificate has been awarded, just now, okay, to Pak Rektor of UNIDA. Right. So Alhamdulillah, I mean the presentation that I'm going to do today actually on the scientific approach in Islam education, using aspiration on integration of Naqli and Aqli knowledge. But my apology, okay, because when I prepared, this slide, actually I prepared in Malay, okay. But I think in line what has been highlighted just now by the Director General, okay, in order to really internalize, the bahasa Malaysia, Indonesia, and so on, So I think this could be one of the agenda today. Because for information, actually, Bahasa Melayu, Indonesia, and so on, actually is the sixth widely spoken in the world, So I think that's the fact, and we should be proud of it. So I try my best, okay, I mean, for the benefit of those who cannot speak Malay, okay, and Indonesian maybe, so I try, maybe to use both languages in my presentations. And I need to declare, actually, I'm a scientist, I'm a scientist, my background actually is chemistry. Maybe I'm the only scientist in this hall. Anybody else that want to declare that they're also scientists? Any scientists in this hall? Oh, we have few. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So basically, my presentation is slightly different, maybe, but it's good. It's kind of like complementary from what has been said, by Pak Hamid just now. Okay, when he talked about on how to teach science in the university, okay, by having some integration, from some Naqli knowledge, okay, that we get maybe from the source of Quran or maybe from the Hadith as well. Okay, before I start, and to prove that I'm still able to speak a little bit of Jawa. For information, actually, my grandfather, okay, he was originally came from Ponorogo, so. So my full name is actually Musa bin Ahmad, Ahmad bin Abdullah, and Abdullah bin Dipokromo. And Abdullah bin Dipokromo actually is my grandfather, and he was born here, but I mean he migrated to Malaya when he was, I think, about 10 years old. But that Dipokromo for sure is like an approval, that I'm a Japanese. So this is my third visit basically to Ponorogo, and every time, I visit Ponorogo, so I feel that, it's like balik kampung. So I just read, this pantun. My apology for my Japanese. Okay, maybe, the quality is not that good, but I hope you can understand it. Seko nilai nunggang kapal mapur, ngelewati Solo, sungene gede. Bengawan Solo ni sungai dia besar lah kan. Maring Ponorogo nemoni sedulur, ni semuanya sedulur belaka dah nah. Ketemu kapihane nang SeIPTI. So that's the kind of introduction for my presentations. Right. Basically, I would like to start, by highlighting a few incidents, okay, whereby a few scientists who really engage in research, you know. They have a very significant finding in research, and finally when somebody told him that his finding has already been mentioned in the Quran, and finally they got hidayah and converted to Islam, mashallah. I think one of the scientists named Dr. Maurice Bucaille, I think everybody knows him. You know, when he did, you know, some study, you know, about, you know, the body of one of the Fir'aun, you know. So he found out, you know, that some remaining, some of the remain containing, you know, salts, you know, a compound of salts in the body, and then he realized actually how, you know, this Fir'aun died, you know. I mean, what's the reason for his that he passed away? What's the reason that made him, you know, pass away? So, I mean, when he was told, okay, when he was told that basically, you know, this body was found drowned, you know, in the sea water. So finally, he realized, you know, this is something, you know, that he cannot imagine, you know. And in fact, this has been mentioned in the Quran, and I think for that reason alone, you know, he embraced Islam, okay? Because to him, it's very difficult for him, you know, to imagine that Rasulullah SAW, you know, who was born basically, you know, after this incident happened, knows everything, you know, about Fir'aun. I think for that reason alone, actually, he embraced Islam, and this, you know, is a kind of incident, or is a kind of, I mean, as a finding, you know, from one prominent scientist, okay, who finally found out, you know, that the finding, you know, from his studies basically match well with the hadith mentioned, you know, in the Quran. And one, he said that science dan Islam umpama saudara kembar yang tidak boleh berpisah. Okay, just like a twin, science and Islam is like a twin that inseparable. Ini kerana dalam Injil terdapat pelbagai kesilapan dari aspek saintifik, tetapi tiada sedikit pun kesilapan seperti itu yang ada dalam Al-Quran. Okay, Masya Allah. There could be some error, okay, in Injil, but there is no error at all, you know, in the Quran. That's why he found out, you know, when he studied further about the verses. This is the book for those who are really interested, you know, to really know in detail about what's happening. And the second professor, Professor Tagasone, actually is basically the head of Department of Anatomy and Embryology in University of Chiang Mai in Thailand. So he embraced Islam while attending a conference on the medicines, you know, in Saudi Arabia. Basically, he's a dermatologist, meaning he specialized, you know, in skin. So based on his study, if our skin get burns, you know, it's going to damage the whole cell, you know, or the top of the skin, and as a result, you know, you will not feel anything after that. I guess supposedly, if we burn, you know, the skin for the second time, okay, you will not feel anything. Okay? But in most cases, okay, after we get burned, you know, for the whole body, okay, basically, you know, you will pass away, you know, because of, you know, the ability of the skin to protect the whole body. All right. And then it's come to, I mean, somebody told him about one verse, you know, from the Quran. Okay, I just you know, the meaning of it. Mereka yang menolak ayat kami akan campakkan mereka dalam api berkali-kali hingga kulit mereka terbakar hangus. Maknanya bakar, dan basically after that you tak rasa apa-apa. But then the second ayah, the second verse. Kami akan ganti kulit mereka dengan kulit yang baru supaya mereka merasakan azab. Sesungguhnya Allah Maha Berkuasa lagi Maha Bijaksana. Okay, there's a proof that in the Quran, okay, mentioning, okay, that the first layer, you know, I mean the cell in the skin actually very sensitive when it get burned. Okay, so basically, you know, something which is you will not feel, you know, in terms of any signal like it that you try to give, you know, to the skin. Okay, so basically this verse alone, you know, make this professor embrace Islam, okay, during the conference, you know, in Saudi Arabia. Okay. And the third scientist, okay, Jacques Cousteau, basically is a French, you know. Dia adalah pakar selam, okay, di Perancis. Basically, okay, semasa dia diving, okay, basically dia menjumpai mata air di dasar laut yang bersifat tawar dan sedap di mana air tersebut tidak bercampur dengan air masin. So di dalam air laut supposedly air adalah masin, okay, but then if he, I mean he can taste, you know, the water actually it's not salted at all, okay. So then somebody mentioned to him, you know, about ayah in the Quran, for instance, you know, from the Surah Al-Furqan ayat 53, dan dialah yang membiarkan dua laut mengalir berdampingan, yang ini tawar lagi segar dan yang lain asin lagi pahit, dan dia jadikan antara keduanya dinding dan batas yang menghalangi. Dan juga Ar-Rahman ayat 1920, dan dia biarkan dua lautan bertemu dan keduanya ada batas yang tidak boleh ditembus. Okay. So I think based on this ayah alone and based on what he experienced, you know, for himself, okay, so he embraced Islam. And okay, the fourth incident, the fourth scientist, okay, Dr. Fidelma O'Leary. Actually, she was from St Andrews University in Scotland. Is expert, you know, in what you call it. I mean in nerve, you know, urat saraf. Actually, from what she found out, you know, from her research, actually it's a bit difficult, you know, for the oxygen, okay, to really, reaching, you know, the head parts, you know, until he found out, you know, some hadith, again, mentioning that, you know, in ibadah, actually we are encouraged, you know, to have, to have when we having our sujood, okay, we need to sujood a bit longer, okay. And then she found out that could be the reasons, okay. There is correlation, okay, with this activity, with the sujood activity, you know, with the amount of blood, okay, that can be transported into the brain, and as a result, more oxygen can be delivered, you know, to the brain areas, to the cells, okay. So I think from this alone, I think she's convinced, and finally, you know, she embraced Islam. And at the moment, from my reading, actually, I found out that since at the moment opening, you know, one clinic, and actually she also very, what you call it, very focused, you know, on the Islamic medicinals, okay, by using some of the, what you call it, materials, you know, that's been, or you know, the sunnah fruits, you know, that been proposed in the Quran, so like, you know, madulaba, you know, honey, black seed, as well as some other material. So this another example on how, you know, finally scientists that doing some research in very intense way, and finally she or he managed, okay, to embrace Islam, okay, because they found, you know, that there is a correlation based on what they found in their research, okay, and and you know, the fact, okay, that's been mentioned, you know, in the Quran. Okay, I would like to highlight a bit, you know, about the importance of ilmu or knowledge. Right. I think I have more or less about 80 slides, but I don't want to read it, you know, one by one. I just go very quickly because I have only about 20 minutes. Okay, kepentingan ilmu, okay, I think we know straight away, okay, because I think the first ayah that's been revealed to Baginda Rasulullah SAW actually is about Iqra, okay. So Iqra is the first ayat to be revealed to Rasulullah SAW. So this stretch actually how much Islam, okay, giving emphasis on the importance of knowledge. And there are so many ayah in the Quran, okay. I think Surah Al-Zumar, verses 9, and Surah Al-Mujadalah, okay, verses 11 is just an example of it, okay, where Allah SWT is stretching very much in the Quran, okay, that knowledge is really very important to us. And Surah At-Tawbah, ayah 1 to 2, okay, this another ayah that really stress how important, you know, the knowledge, okay, to Muslim. I just read, you know, the meaning of it. Dan tidaklah betul orang-orang yang beriman keluar semuanya pergi berperang. Oleh itu hendaklah keluar sebahagian sahaja dari tiap-tiap puak di antara mereka, supaya orang-orang yang tinggal itu mempelajari secara mendalam ilmu yang dituntut di dalam agama. Well, you can see from here, okay, this is actually peperangan. It's very important. It's talking about the survival, but still, okay, in Islam, okay, we are encouraged, okay, to have, you know, a group of people who stay behind and teaching knowledge. That show how important knowledge is in Islam. Okay, I'll go a bit on the kejadian manusia. This just an example. If we do not have enough knowledge, okay, we might be exposed to any other ideology, and we might be easily, believe on whatever has been mentioned to us, okay, without any justification, in our mind. Okay, so for instance, the kajian manusia, and I think we aware about the theory Darwin, okay, which is totally opposite what has been mentioned in the Quran. I think in the Quran it's been mentioned, about the human being. We know, the very famous Al-Mu'minun, ayah 12 to 14. Okay, that's basically Allah has created human being, okay, based on the sperm, and then after 40 days it's become, blood, what you call gumpal darah, and then become tulang belulang afterwards, and suddenly, this tulang is going to be turned into daging, and finally after 9 months, and then we're going to be delivered, to this world. Okay, I think that's very clearly, and I mean the beautiful of this ayah because of it explains, very clearly about, the creation of human being. Right? But what has been suggested by Theodore Darwin is something else, about the evolutions, and I think if we are really having enough knowledge, it's very easy for us, to really reject, this idea from Darwin, okay, because if evolution really happened, so we do expect that, the evolution should be continuous. Even now, okay, but based on our observation, that's not happen at all, isn't it? Okay, so that's why in the Quran, actually, if we refer, to Surah Al-Ma'idah, okay, ayat 60, this incident, okay, whereby in this case Allah SWT mentioned that, apakah akan aku berikan kepadamu tentang orang-orang yang lebih buruk pembalasannya dari orang-orang fasik di sisi Allah, iaitu orang-orang yang dikutuki dan dimurkai Allah. Di antara mereka ada yang dijadikan kera dan babi. Meaning, Allah has mentioned, in the Quran, the other way around incident. Okay, instead of evolution of, from the ape, to become human being, but in the Quran it's mentioned, the event of the other way around, meaning, the changing of humans, to apes and so on. Okay, so this is like a contrast and something, okay, that make us think deeply about this. So let me highlight a bit about zaman kegemilangan Islam. Okay, just to know what's really happening, okay, during that era in very short time. Alright, as we know that Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Hadith, that's basically, the main source of knowledge, in Islam. Okay, so we are required, to really learn Islam. Okay, we should be able, okay, to read Quran and understand the meaning of it. The same goes, to the Hadith and so on. Alright, during the Islamic Golden Age, so when I'm talking, I try to highlight, about the science development. Actually, the science developed, okay, during the Islamic civilization between the 8th and 16th, okay, centuries. Okay, so it's a long time ago, and at that time, because of and at that time, actually, there were also, some non-Arabs and non-Muslim, okay, who were together, during the Islamic civilization. That they also done some research, and they also together with some other Muslim scholars. But still, that era is known as Arabic science, okay, because they need to learn Arabic in order for them to understand well, to digest well about the knowledge of science, okay, that available, okay, at that time. Also, just to highlight a few scholars, okay, Al-Biruni, okay, I think we know, his achievement and contribution, to science, civilizations, particularly on the algebra, and he was the one, okay, that compute Earth radius and circumferences, and then we also know Omar Khayyam, okay, the one, okay, that managed, okay, to solve the systematic solution of third-degree equation, okay, that we learned in algebra. Okay, in my case, I learned about algebra, okay, during my first year in university. And we also know Jabir ibn Hayyan, known as Geber. Okay, if you refer, to the old references, for instance, easily you will find, okay, Geber name instead of Jabir al-Hayyan. And he's a chemist, just like me. I'm also a chemist, so I'm very proud of him. Actually, he also known as the father of chemistry in the 9th century. Okay, just imagine. And he's the one, who introduced, the experimental approach to scientific research. He's the one who introduced the use of, what you call it, lab, okay, in scientific learning and teaching. And he's the one who invented, the alkali and acid and so on. Okay? And then we're also having Zakaria Ar-Razi, okay, the one, the father of Islamic medicines. Is the one that introduced the sulfuric acids, and as we know, I think most of the established university in the West, they also started, I mean, their business or taking students and so on in the center of in the 12th centuries. Okay, meaning actually, the Islamic civilization has already established much earlier than that. And in fact, the established universities like University Bologna, University Oxford and so on, okay, they also having some, I mean, the previous, okay, the oldest Islamic universities that available, okay, before that have already incurred some what you call it, influence, okay, to this university. Right, the Kepulauan IPT Islam, I need to cover all this, okay, within 5 minutes available. Kepulauan IPT Islam, alright, as you know, Islam is the fastest growing religion, okay, in the world, with 2.9% every year, and that's even higher if you compare, to the world population, the increase of world population, which is on the 2.2% per year. So every 5 people that you met, one of them actually is Muslim. All right, and this is actually the map. You can see, the dark blue color indicate, that the percentage, of Muslim there actually is higher. And you can see the Muslim, world Muslim population. Okay, you can see, the number, this world total, and the Muslim population actually is getting higher and higher. And in fact, in the year 2030, okay, we expect that Muslims is going to comprise about 2.2 billion in terms of population. And this, okay, when you focus in terms of age, okay, so in 2030, we expect about 50% of Muslim population are in the age of, or it's about 30 plus. Okay, in terms of education at tertiary level, tertiary enrollment, as a percentage of total tertiary age population, okay, you will see from here Malaysia is only about 32%, okay, and Indonesia somewhere is about 18%. But this data actually is obsolete 2005. Alright, I just want to highlight what's been said by Professor Yusuf Al-Qaradawi. If you want to see the future of a country, look at the youth. If their character is good, then the country will flourish. But if they lack character, then the country has no future. So I want to highlight a bit, about the secular education. I think we know, like in my case, I study under this system. Okay, when I study chemistry, I feel far away, from Islam, and sometimes I feel that I've chosen, the wrong discipline. I should choose Quran and Sunnah to be Ustad, okay, and so on, So this, I mean, we know the difference between Islam and secular. And well, I just want to highlight one book that has been published, okay, been written and published by one professor from Harvard University. Harvard University, don't play. It is a very famous university, leading university. Okay, it's Professor Harry Lewis. Professor Harry Lewis actually, he worked in Harvard University for more than 30 years, and he was the dean of Harvard College for 8 years. Just imagine all the experience that he has, in education. But what he said, he wrote a book, and the title of the book actually Excellent Without a Soul. Excellent without a soul, meaning, I mean, the student, the alumni excel in their field, but no soul inside. Okay. Right, and this is a comment, you know, university have forgotten that the fundamental purpose of undergraduate education is to turn young people into adults who will take responsibility for society. So that part has been taken out, so no soul, okay, just, you know, I mean, excel in your career, get a lot of money and so on. And as a result, I think we aware about the seriousness of white-collar criminals, okay? White-collar criminals everywhere, you know, so basically it's about fraud, you know, bribery, insider trading, cyber crime, copyright infringement, money laundering, and so on. Okay, look at the statistic. Okay, about 17% of the total criminal actually sedang conducted, you know, by this white-collar, the so-called, you know, educated, the so-called scholar. Okay, and all that actually part of it unnecessary repairs, price loss, and so on. And then I just want to highlight, you know, what's happening in our country, our beloved Malaysia. Okay, so buang bayi is something, okay, that we heard every day, something that I never heard, okay, when I was, you know, a child, you know, when I was in my schooling time, you know. But buang bayi actually is something which is very quite often happening now, particularly in our country. And you can see the statistic here, it's increasing tremendously. It's very alarming. What's the reason for that actually? Okay, case record is similarly, you know, you can see, you know, the statistics here, you know, very alarming. And then the case dada, you know, musuh nombor satu negara, we're supposed to be free from drug this year, 2015, but still the problem actually is not settled yet. Okay. Alright, case rasuah, a case rogol, a case rempit only unique in Malaysia, no rempit in Indonesia. I know that, you know. But we have rempit in Malaysia, very unique. And now, you know, we have a what you call it, a problem with militant, case bully, and so on. Okay, just have a look. Okay, what has been said by one of our Professor Ulong in Malaysia. We have only 4 Professor Ulong in Malaysia, and this is actually appointed by the government. Very stringent. Okay. I mean, condition need to be fulfilled in order for you to be appointed as a Professor Ulong. Professor Dr. Kamal Hassan, I think Dr. Anis, you know, I think your mentor basically. What he said, mata perubahan universiti adalah untuk melahirkan manusia berperadaban tinggi, berguna kepada negara, menjadi manusia yang menyeluruh. Okay. So I just highlight about one dari lonjakan. You know, our plan pendidikan pembangunan Malaysia. Okay, we have a very focused plan. And one of the one of the anjakan basically on the graduan holistik berciri kesahawanan, okay, dan seimbang. Seimbang actually referring to nakli akli. Actually, Dr. Asmah, our former Vice Chancellor, is now the Director General who putting this word seimbang. She want to put nakli akli, but no go, okay, because it is for Malaysia. But what she meant actually is nakli akli in here. Okay, this is basically, you know, a type of, you know, sarjana, a type of scholars that we want to produce. Okay, this example of it, you know, it's not only UC, but I think most of us like to produce this kind of students, or we having, you know, this kind of CV. So for instance, this is basically, you know, the Ibn Sina CV. Okay, so I just want to highlight, you know, kat sini, okay, hafal Al-Quran 10 years, hafal Quran sudah, okay, 10 years. And then menjadi konsultan ahli doktor, okay, umurnya 17 tahun. Kalau di Malaysia baru lulus SPM tu. Okay. Saya dilatih sebagai konsultan, okay, bila saya sudah balik ada PhD untuk environment and so on. Tapi 17 sudah lantik. Karyanya Masya Allah sangat banyak. Okay, model sarjana, okay. Selain daripada, okay, menjadi seorang tabib, seorang pakar dalam perubatan, dia juga adalah seorang ahli kimia juga. Dan dia juga adalah seorang falsafah, okay, Yunani, seorang ahli tafsir, okay. Dan dia adalah seorang pakar rujuk. Dan ini apa yang dia sebut, okay? Apa yang dia sebut? Jiwa dalam jasad bagaikan burung yang terkurung dalam sangkar, merindukan kebebasannya di alam lepas, menyatu kembali dengan alam rohani, iaitu alam asal. Setiap kali ia mengingat alam asalnya, ia pun menangis kerana rindu ingin kembali. I wish I could translate this. Okay. I wish I could translate this into Javanese. Okay. Okay. IPT Islam. Okay, dia keperluan. Jadi all those actually showing to us that it's very important for us to have IPT Islam with a specific agenda. Okay, so the asas penggunaan curriculum, I can just go very quickly. So I mean for the scientific approach like what I'm doing at the moment, okay. So whatever teaching method that we have, okay, to teach Quran, okay, it need to be bound, okay, tightly into Tauhid, okay. So kepentingan Tauhid, I don't want to go very, I mean on this, okay. Pengertian sains Tauhidik, okay. Basically, we are the hamba and Khalifah Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, okay. We should tolak any effort, okay, I mean to separate, okay, between ilmu ilmu agama, because everything actually is ilmu agama, science and agama. That's why actually in using, we are more convenient in using integration rather than Islamization. Okay, recently we're having, you know, the discussion with Professor Hassan Kamal, but well, after listening to him, basically Islamization and what we're doing actually more or less is the same, but we are using different terminology. Okay, the ciri of sains Islam bertelaskan prinsip tauhid, integrasi nakli akli, alam sebagai pemesej, juluk at alam, you know, you akan kata indahnya, but actually it's more than indah. Okay, you need to do some research on it to appreciate what alam has provide to us. It's kind of a message. Kebenaran hakiki dalam kebenaran wahyu, and also, you know, sains dan teknologi mengukuhkan keimanan. That should be the output of it. Okay, mengapa perlu antara sains tauhid? Okay, because of menghargai alam sekitar. Okay, and then sains sebagai kaedah untuk mendekati Allah SWT. Okay, you look at what the creation of Allah SWT. Okay, you feel closer to Allah SWT. And melahirkan budaya menyelidik. And basically you can see the difference between science secular, okay, and also the science tauhidic. I don't have much time to really explain on this. Okay? Right. If we have all this, okay, we know what is science secular, we know what is science tauhidic, and then when we read, you know, the Quran, it's very easy for us to relate, you know, our observation, you know, with what something that we learn, okay, from what has been mentioned in the Quran. For instance, you know, the cloud and rain. A lot of ayat in the Quran mention about cloud and rain. Okay, and in fact, one ayat really explaining the process, you know, of raining. Okay, and that's jive really well, you know what, you know, based on the scientific finding. Similarly with the mountain and earth stability, okay, mana bukit itu sebagai pasak kepada bumi, and in fact the book that been published, you know, by this author, you know, in the US, and basically the author was the science advisor to the former USA President Jimmy Carter. Okay, don't play. Ini somebody yang really close, okay, kepada Jimmy Carter, telah menulis, okay, bahawa bukit bukan adalah pasak kepada bumi. Sekali lagi Pak. And then smoking and health, you know, smoking and health. Ini dah keluar fatwa haram, masih lagi mau rokok. Dah keluar fatwa haram, masih lagi mau vaping. Okay. Dan ini juga memang telah terbukti tobacco smoke contain 60 carcinogenic compound. Carbon monoxide is the worst. Carbon monoxide actually they having the tendency, okay, to combine, okay, with hemoglobin 200 times higher than oxygen. Hemoglobin fungsinya adalah untuk bawa oksigen. Oksigen datang, hemoglobin bercantum, okay, menjadi oksihemoglobin senyawanya. Dia akan dibawa, okay, pergi ke sel-sel oleh darah. The moment ada CO daripada asap rokok sebagai contoh, so dia akan give up terus. Dia akan lepaskan oksigen, dia akan terus tangkap karbon dioksida, karbon oksida ni, karbon monoksida ini menjadi karboksihemoglobin. Kerana kekuatannya 200 kali ganda berbanding dengan oksigen. Okay, sebab itu tak cukup oksigen yang sampai kepada sel, tak sampai oksigen kepada otak dan sebagainya. Okay, so that's why actually Islam said actually merokok in Malaysia the fatwa say haram, okay, including vaping as well. Okay, so nicotine, ammonia, okay, more than 60. Okay, so you can see from all sort of chemical in the cigarette, you know. I hope you believe after this and menginsafi diri, for those yang merokok lah. Okay, and apiti Islam, sedikit sorotan Pak, bagi saya 2 minit, saya go to yang ini. Sorotan ini just to share USIM punya experience, okay. Sorotan senior di integrasi ilmu nakil di USIM. Okay, so ini just promosi USIM ini di Negeri Sembilan, okay, the nearest to the airport, you know, and yeah, the nearest to the airport, the nearest university to the airport. We are, you know, about less than half an hour to Putrajaya, and I think in a fine day you will reach KL. I think about half an hour. Okay, our campus. Okay, you can see. Can you see here? You know, this our campus. You can see. You know, look at my cursor here. This actually the shape of sperm. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, Islamic science. Yeah? So it's sperm, and actually this, this part here, is like ovary at the same time. This symbolize about our life and so on. So 250 hectares or 640 acre lebih kurang di USIM. And a good thing about this actually, okay, when we design, our what you call it, our campus, actually we are facing the Qibla. So all the all the building, okay, menghadap ke Qibla. And then we are certified, with Sharia compliance, quality management system for Islam perspective. We have our satellite campus, in Kuala Lumpur. This actually is housing 2 faculties at the moment, Perubatan and also Pergigian. Apart from that, we're also having College Formati Insan. This is, our, more or less, this our lab, our makmal to produce Ibn Sina. Okay, because the student, okay, that we put here, actually talented student, IQ is more than 150. And we take them, okay, we capture them at early age of 8 years old. So we're having program with them, regularly, and then when they reach 13 years old, we actually offer them and we put them, within the campus. Okay, they're supposed to be Hafal Quran, okay, when they reach 15 years old, the latest. Okay? So the falsafah, of USIM, VCMEC also, talking about the Islam, talking about integration and so on, and the objective as well. Right. One thing actually we're having, this Iqra in front of our university. The moment, okay, when you reach our guard post, post guard, actually when you enter USIM, actually you're facing the Qibla, and I always recommend the student, okay, to have wudu before they come, okay, to the university. And the moment, okay, they reach, this Iqra structure, this actually is about a few seconds, from the main entrance. And this Iqra structure is a man, okay, for them, to remind them about the niyah, okay, and correct their niyah before they enter the university. Okay, we purposely put them in the roundabout so that if they still not click the niyah, okay, they need to tawaf a bit, After the next correct, aku datang kerana Allah Ta'ala untuk belajar. Baru dia boleh pergi ke library, boleh pergi ke kuliah dan sebagainya. Kalau tidak, teruskan tawaf saja di situ. And then the pengguna persarana, as I said, actually pengurusan kualiti, purpose Islam, actually compliance, and then the certificate. And this basically, I mean the first phase of the university. I mean the Pusat Islam actually still under construction, but the rest I think already I mean established. So we have the bangunan chancellery here. Actually the whole thing facing the Qibla. Okay, and we have this the bangunan pentadbiran reflecting the Umara, and we have the masjid, the keimanan and taqwa, and we're having the library here, which is representing the knowledge. So we have the 3 components, okay, together, okay, I mean adjacent to each other. Okay, right, this is the curriculum design and method. Okay, so we're having a proper design and method in order for us, when we want to introduce a new what you call it, curriculum and so on. And we have in fact a few program and as well as the faculty, okay, that we already integrate. Okay, for instance, we're having the Sharia and Law faculty, a Sharia and Law program, Actual Science and Takaful, Quranic Studies and Multimedia, Da'wah and Management, Islamic Counseling, and so on. This some of the reflection. And this is basically the integration of what we meant by then, actually. In terms of integration, okay, we can have, 3 different methods. Okay, either add-on, okay, you learn about, say, science first, and then add on, with the Islamic perspective. We can have a comparative, this, the secular thing, this, the Islamic thing, okay, both of them. But in USIM, actually, we integrate them, okay, so this becomes something, which inseparable, okay, this, the Islam, and basically you cannot see the difference, okay. So we present to the student as one body of knowledge. Okay, so research into Islamic science, okay, be referred, particularly in the local newspapers and magazine, okay, on the integration of Nakli and Akli, and this, the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, again. So basically in 2016, okay, we want to be referred in terms of integration Nakli Akli to, in the regional and globally 2025, okay. So this all the, so we have, the strategy plan for this. So I just skip this. Okay. Right. Okay, the program Martinson, okay, this as I mentioned earlier, this is, basically our experiment to produce Ibn Sina, okay, in the near future, because actually we have a special program for them. We take them at the early age, okay, and they are talented students, okay, the chances of for failure, the chance of failure for this project actually for us is very minimum, okay, because basically we put most of our effort in place, and we into a calculation into CGPA. We call it ICGPA, integrated ICGPA, meaning we have certain weightage of the normal academic CGPA plus like a CGPA, we're taking from this Nakli-Akli or GINA model. Okay, part of the GSO, okay, so far I think we have traveled, I think, more than 15 countries, okay, worldwide. And we also having, early this year we established, okay, one center called Pusat Pengembangan Integrasi Nakli dan Akli. This because basically, to really train, our staff, our lecturers, so they also understand what we meant by integrasi nakli. Otherwise, nanti dia ada mazhab A faham macam ni, mazhab B faham macam ni, and so on. So we have special program, okay, for them.
Excuse
So
me,
that's
Professor.
about all. Thank you very much. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Professor Musa, thank you so much. We wish to tell His Excellency Sugeng Rawuh, kami senang ketemu beliau. Ini bahasa Jerman, bahasa Jejer Kauman. Well, especially concerning about his valuable presentation concerning at least USIM experience in the field of scientific approach to integrate between ulum akliyah and ulum nakliyah, between akal and nakal. Professor, we wish we could listen it more and more later on our clusters discussion. I will invite now our third speaker, Dr. Abdul Nasir bin Haji Rani, Dean of Faculty of Economic and Science Management, University Sultan Syarif Ali. Terima kasih, kami persilahkan. Mudah-mudahan tidak lebih dari 20 menit. Terima kasih. Terima kasih.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wa bihi nasta'in wa ala umurid dunya waddin. Wa usalli wa usallim ala sayyidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi al-mujahidin at-tahirin wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yaumiddin. Amma ba'd. Yang terhormat, yang berbahagia dan yang mulia rektor-rektor, teman-teman seperjuangan, pelajar-pelajar, dan hadirin hadirat yang saya hormati sekalian, uhayyikum bitahiyatil Islam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kalau pemakalah ataupun pembentang kita yang kedua sebentar tadi mengkombinasikan bahasa Inggris dengan bahasa Melayu, sekarang saya pula mengkombinasikan bahasa Melayu dengan bahasa Indonesia. Dan adapun keberadaan saya di sini sebenarnya mewakili Yang Mulia Rektor Yunisa untuk menyampaikan ucap tama bertajuk Sumbangan Pengajian Islam ke Arah Integrasi Pengalaman Universiti Islam Sultan Syarif Ali. Dan kerana amanah ini saya gagahi walaupun tidak gagah untuk berani tampil di hadapan semuanya untuk sama-sama berkongsi pengalaman untuk dijadikan pengajaran yang berharga buat semua. Dan insya Allah saya tidak akan mengambil masa yang lama dalam penyampaian tajuk ini, karena memberi ruang kepada yang mungkin pengen bicara lama selepas saya. Baik. Dan untuk memulakan perbincangan tajuk ini, saya bawakan dulu pengertian integrasi dari segi bahasa. Dari segi bahasa, integrasi bermaksud penggabungan atau penyatuan atau penyapaduan dua atau beberapa unsur bagian hingga menjadi satu kesatuan yang bulat dan utuh. Dan apabila menjadi lengkap semua bahagian-bahagian itu, maka ia disebut sebagai integral. Nah, dari bahasa ini kita dapat tahu ataupun kita bisa lihat dengan jelas bahwa suatu itu tidak mungkin utuh dan tidak mungkin integral jika berdiri dengan sendiri tanpa dikombinasikan dengan suatu yang lain. Dari segi pendidikan pula, dari aspek pendidikan pula, integrasi bermaksud usaha menggabungkan atau menyepadukan ontologi, epistemologi, dan aksiologi, ilmu-ilmu yang ada pada bidang agama dengan ilmu-ilmu yang ada pada bidang umum, yang seterusnya akan melahirkan suatu ilmu yang sifatnya lengkap dan integral. Dan ilmu yang integral ini seterusnya mampu mewujudkan insan yang intelek, multi-skill, bersikap proaktif, positif terhadap ilmu pengetahuan, serta memberi manfaat dan kebaikan yang menyeluruh kepada jagat raya, baik terhadap agama, sesama manusia, dan juga alam maya. Walau bagaimanapun, realiti pada hari ini menyaksikan bagaimana ilmu agama dan juga ilmu umum dipisah-pisahkan. Ini adalah akibat daripada pengaruh sekularisme dan arus perubahan globalisasi hingga melahirkan atau menimbulkan pelbagai permasalahan. Antara permasalahan yang dihadapi ialah pertama, munculnya pertentangan dalam penyajian ilmu kepada para pelajar, dan contohnya telah pun dibawakan oleh Profesor Datuk Dr. Musa Ahmad sebentar tadi, yaitu berkenaan dengan penciptaan manusia. Agama kita, agama Islam, mempercayai bahawa asal usul manusia ialah dari air mani. Tetapi teori Darwin mengatakan bahawa asal usul manusia itu dari kera. Dan saya cukup percaya bahwa tidak ada seorang pun di dalam dewan ini yang mengaku aslinya kera. Dan akibat yang kedua, berlaku jurang perkembangan pendidikan yang sangat ketara antara sistem pendidikan Islam dan sistem pendidikan ilmu, di mana pendidikan umum itu diberi keutamaan, sementara pendidikan Islam itu sentiasa mundur ke belakang. Seterusnya terjadinya perpecahan dalam pengelolaan sistem pendidikan di dalam negeri. Sebagiannya dikelola oleh Kementerian Pendidikan dan sebagiannya pula dikelola oleh Kementerian Agama. Selain daripada itu juga, kerana pemisahan ilmu pengetahuan umum dan ilmu pengetahuan agama, menyebabkan usaha-usaha untuk melahirkan insan integral sangat sukar untuk dilakukan. Menyebut tentang bidang pendidikan di negara Brunei Darussalam, ianya merupakan salah satu agenda yang diberi keutamaan dalam setiap peruntukan rancangan kemajuan negara. Dan menerusi paparan jadual yang saya tunjukkan di sini, walaupun bidang pendidikan tidak berada pada tempat yang paling teratas Namun setidak-tidaknya ia berada di tempat kedua teratas selepas sektor penggunaan awam dengan agihan sebanyak 22,6% dari jumlah keseluruhan peruntukan yang disediakan, yaitu $1 bilion. Dan ini menunjukkan komitmen kerajaan yang serius dalam usaha meningkatkan bidang pendidikan di negara Brunei Darussalam. Hadirin hadirat yang saya hormati, komitmen kerajaan terhadap bidang pendidikan tidak setakat terpancar dalam peruntukan rancangan kemajuan negara, tetapi juga bisa diperhatikan menerusi wawasan Brunei 2035, di mana wawasan Brunei 2035 berhasrat untuk menjadikan negara Brunei Darussalam dikenali seluruh dunia sebagai sebuah negara yang memiliki rakyat yang berpendidikan, berkemahiran tinggi dan berjaya, kehidupan rakyat yang berkualiti tinggi, dan ekonomi yang dinamis dan berdaya tahan. Dan untuk mencapai wawasan 2035, strategi pendidikan akan mempersiapkan belia Brunei dalam dunia yang semakin kompetitif, berteraskan ilmu pengetahuan dengan dasar pendidikan yang meliputi ilmu pengetahuan umum dan agama, sama ada di peringkat sekolah rendah, menengah maupun di peringkat institusi pengajian tinggi. Di negara Brunei Darussalam terdapat 4 buah institusi pengajian tinggi yang bertaraf universiti. 3 buah daripadanya dikawal selia oleh Kementerian Pendidikan, yaitu Universiti Brunei Darussalam, yaitu universiti pertama yang ditubuhkan di Brunei pada tahun 1985. Universiti Islam Sultan Syarif Ali, Universiti Islam pertama dan juga merupakan universiti kedua selepas Universiti Brunei Darussalam yang ditubuhkan pada tahun 2007, dan Institut Teknologi Brunei yang dinaik taraf menjadi universitas pada tahun 2008, dan sebuah maktab atau maktab perguruan agama yang telah dinaik taraf menjadi college universitas, yaitu College University Perguruan Agama Seri Begawan pada tahun 2007 yang dikelola sepenuhnya oleh Kementerian Agama. Nah, di sini satu lagi contoh akibat daripada pemisahan antara pendidikan agama dan pendidikan umum. Merujuk kepada topik perbincangan kita, yaitu mengenai pengalaman UNISA menyajikan pendidikan bersepadu secara seimbang, dapat diperhatikan menerusi program pengajian yang ditawarkan oleh fakultas dan pusat. Program pengajian Islam adalah meliputi bidang usuluddin, syariah, mazhab Syafi'i, bahasa Arab, peradaban Islam. Sementara bidang pengajian umum meliputi hukum, manajemen dan kewangan. Biarpun kedua-dua bidang pengajian ini pada mata kasarnya dilihat terpisah, namun ianya disepadukan dengan Al-Quran dan As-Sunnah apabila dijadikan sebagai teras pengisian kurikulumnya. Dan ini jelas sekali termaktub dalam visi UNISA yang menyebutkan Al-Quran dan As-Sunnah dijadikan sebagai teras utama untuk menjadikan sebuah universiti Islam tulen bertaraf internasional, progresif dan dinamik. Dan adapun menyandarkan kurikulum ataupun pendidikan kepada Al-Quran dan As-Sunnah boleh ditafsirkan sebagai sifat takwa UNISA, kerana kita UNISA percaya bahawa hanya dengan takwa sahaja seseorang bisa mendapatkan ilmu dengan bimbingan Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Dan ini diambil daripada firman Allah Subhanahu wa taala yang berbunyi, wattaqullaha wa yu'allimukumullah. Bermaksud, bertakwalah kamu kepada Allah dan Allah mengajar kamu. Surah Al-Baqarah ayat 282. Di Indonesia, pelajar-pelajar Fakultas Bisnis dan Manajemen dalam program Sarjana Muda Sains Keuangan Islam contohnya, tidak hanya dibekalkan dengan ilmu pengetahuan tentang keuangan dan perbankan konvensional, contohnya financial accounting, business mathematics, principles of marketing, dan sebagainya. Bahkan juga diberikan suntikan kurikulum ilmu Islam yang bersesuaian dan cukup sebagai usaha penyepaduan antara ilmu bidang umum dan bidang agama. Antara yang diajarkan ialah principles of Islamic jurisprudence atau usul fiqh, Islamic economics, transaction, Islamic banking and finance, dan bermacam-macam lagi. Dan ilmu ini diajarkan kepada pelajar untuk mengawal tindak tanduk mereka daripada bersalahan dengan pendirian Islam. Dan ini bagi memastikan modal insan yang dilahirkan akan menggunakan kepandaian mereka untuk mempertahankan agama dan mewujudkan kekuatan ummah, khususnya di negara Brunei Darussalam. Bertitik tolak daripada proses penyampaian ilmu yang holistik, maka kita mengharapkan Indonesia bisa menghasilkan ulama yang terbilang, berpengetahuan luas dalam bidang pengajian yang dianuti, berketerampilan, berkemahiran, di samping lahir masyarakat yang seimbang dengan tuntutan duniawi dan ukhrawi, serta hidup sejahtera yang berpanjangan. Selain itu, wujud sebuah peradaban yang berdiri megah dan utuh, berpaksikan pendidikan bersifat universal, dan lahir khalifatullah yang mampu meneroka dan menegakkan kebenaran, menjaga tuntutan agama, serta kebal daripada pengaruh negatif dan anasir jahat yang bisa merusak dan membinasakan akhlak. Ringkasnya, sumbangan pengajian Islam di Indonesia ialah melahirkan khalifatullah yang sifatnya integral, yang boleh dilakarkan dalam bentuk piramid. Integral dalam arti kata kukuh dan utuh pasaknya dengan menjaga hubungannya dengan pencipta, yakni Allah Subhanahu wa taala, menjaga hubungannya dengan masyarakat sekeliling, dan menjaga hubungannya dengan alam semesta. Di sini perlu dijelaskan bahwa memandangkan Indonesia baru saja tumbuh untuk tempoh yang masih terlalu muda, yaitu lebih kurang 7 tahun lamanya, maka model integrasi yang dipraktikkan di Indonesia merupakan hal yang belum final dan memerlukan evaluasi secara terus-menerus untuk memastikan matlamat akhir benar-benar tercapai. Sungguh pun demikian, kita penuh yakin dan percaya untuk melahirkan ulama yang integral bukanlah suatu yang mustahil untuk dikecapi. Sejarah pernah membuktikan hal yang demikian, di mana para ilmuwan Islam lampau tidak hanya menumpukan pendidikan mereka dalam aliran pendidikan umum atau agama semata, tetapi diintegrasikan kedua-duanya. Al-Imam Syafi'i merupakan antara contoh ulama Islam terbaik untuk diungkap semula lembaran keilmuannya. Beliau bukan setakat mahir dalam bidang usul fiqh dan fiqh sahaja, tetapi catatan para ulama muktabar juga telah mensabitkan bahawa beliau sangat mahir dalam bidang bahasa, sastra, tafsir, hadis, tib, astrologi, dan fisionomi. Sebagai sosok ilmuwan Islam integratif, beliau telah berhasil memberikan sumbangan yang sangat luar biasa terhadap kemajuan peradaban manusia yang sehingga ke hari ini hasilnya masih bisa kita nikmati. Bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu, Al-Imam Syafi'i merupakan idola Indonesia. Maka di Indonesia wujud sebuah pusat yang disebut sebagai Pusat Penyelidikan Mazhab Syafi'i, di mana pusat ini adalah merupakan yang pertama seumpamanya di Asia, bahkan juga di peringkat internasional, di mana UNISA ataupun Pusat Penyelidikan Mazhab Syafi'i ini menjalankan penyelidikan-penyelidikan yang berkait tentang mazhab Syafi'i dan juga menawarkan program-program pasca siswazah di peringkat S2, sarjana, dan S3 doktor falsafah. Jadi saya sebagai warga UNISA mengalu-alukan semua yang ada untuk belajar di UNISA dan masuk ke Pusat Penyelidikan Mazhab Syafi'i. Dalam contoh yang lain, Al-Kindi dapat menggabungkan filsafat dan pemikiran Yunani dengan filsafat dan pemikiran Islam sehingga beliau dikenali sebagai bapa filsafat Islam. Dan begitu juga dengan Al-Farabi yang telah menghasilkan sebuah karya berbentuk politik berasaskan ajaran dan pahaman Plato dan Aristoteles, yang kemudiannya dikombinasi dengan filsafat Islam, dan dengan kejayaannya mencampurkan, mengadunkan kedua-duanya hingga menjadi sebati beliau dikenali sebagai guru kedua dalam bidang filsafat setelah Aristoteles. Dari cebisan sejarah dan hasil yang kita tuai pada hari ini menyaksikan bagaimana integrasi ilmu itu mampu mentransformasikan ilmu pengetahuan dalam memahami wahyu ilahi. Bahkan juga mampu memahami wahyu untuk mengembangkan ilmu pengetahuan. Dan inilah sosok manusia yang dicita-citakan dapat dihasilkan menerusi pengajian Islam di UNISA. Dan sebagai penggulungan daripada apa yang telah saya sampaikan sebentar tadi, melihat peri pentingnya integrasi disiplin ilmu dalam membentuk peradaban Islam yang benar-benar utuh, maka institusi pengajian tinggi Islam pada hari ini hendaklah melengkapkan anak didiknya dengan ilmu pengetahuan yang bersifat integral supaya menjadi ulama yang berpengetahuan luas dalam pelbagai bidang. Tidak hanya berpengetahuan dalam bidang ukhrawi, bahkan juga bidang duniawi. Dalam mendepani modernisasi dan globalisasi, wujud keperluan untuk mempercepatkan proses pengintegrasian ilmu. Diharap menerusi proses itu nanti, modal insan yang akan dihasilkan kelak dapat menghadapi apa jua cabaran yang mendatang. Modal insan muslim yang integral adalah merupakan aset yang sangat penting untuk menjadi perisai umat manusia, bahkan umat Islam, daripada serangan pemikiran-pemikiran modern. Dan perlu ditekankan bahwa kejayaan proses integrasi ilmu dan menghasilkan modal insan yang integral bukanlah suatu yang enteng, karena ia membutuhkan waktu dan dukungan semua pihak untuk dikecapi, termasuk dukungan pemerintah, dukungan pentadbir di peringkat kementerian, dan dukungan pentadbir di peringkat universitas, dosen-dosen, pelajar-pelajar, dan juga masyarakat seluruhnya. Dan untuk itu kecekalan, ketabahan, komitmen, dan kerjasama yang serius antara institusi pengajian tinggi Islam adalah perlu untuk memastikan hasil yang baik menjadi kenyataan. Setakat itu saja yang bisa saya sampaikan di sini, dan saya akhiri dengan wa aqulu qauli hadza wa astaghfirullahal azim li wa lakum wa billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih. Keynote speech yang ketiga tadi yang disampaikan oleh Dr. Abdul Nasir bin Haji Rani. Beliau banyak bercerita tentang menguraikan pengalaman UNISA khususnya dalam konteks integrasi antara ilmu-ilmu agama dan ilmu-ilmu umum. Kita sampai kepada pembicara yang keempat dari universitas termuda yang bergabung dengan SeIPTI, Patani Islamic University. Dalam hal ini akan disampaikan oleh Wakil Rektor Bidang Hubungan Internasional, Profesor Dr. Syukri Longputih. Saya tahu beliau sangat pandai mengatur waktu. Saya persilahkan 20 menit. Terima kasih.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبنستعين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Terima kasih saya kepada Tuan Moderator dan terima kasih kepada Main Organizing Committee untuk undangan kami dari Thailand. Saya dari Thailand, seharusnya kalau muktamar ini jadi ke muktamar bahasa, saya juga ingin sepatah dua kata dalam bahasa Thailand gitu. Biar jadikan ASEAN Regional Seminar. Oke. Yang saya boleh sedikit ngomong-ngomong bahasa Melayu dan juga bahasa Indonesia ini bukan karena saya pandai, tetapi saya mempunyai darah Jawa. Karena kakek-kakek saya dari Kepulauan Jawa, tetapi sudah ratusan tahun dari Kepulauan Jawa ke Pulau Pinang dan Pinang masuki Thailand. Hanya dari tahun 1909 sahaja yang di Anglo-Semitic Treaty membelah bagikan Satun wilayah saya sebelah Thailand, dan jiran-jiran saya, adik-beradik saya yang masih di Kedah, Perlis dan juga Pulau Pinang di bumi Melaya, Malaysia. Dan oleh karena di situ juga saya mempunyai peluang yang mana kakek-kakek saya juga yang datang dari Cina. Jadi Pulau Pinang sebagai multaqa, dan dari situ menyebabkan saya mempunyai dua destinasi yang saya harus pergi, dan saya bisa tidur dengan perasaan yang macam feeling at home, yaitu di Indonesia dan juga di Guangzhou, di Guangdong, yang mana itu yang saya pergi sana untuk dapat S3 di sana. Yang keduanya salam Rektor Profesor Dr. Ismail Lutfi kepada organizers dan juga sidang semua. Beliau begitu berminat untuk mengikuti kali ini karena mungkin saja Pak ya, kali seterusnya mungkin di Jamiah Fatani. Jadi kami mewakili Jamiah Fatani, saya sendiri sebagai wakil rektor, dan bersama saya Dekan Fakultas Tarbiyah ataupun Pendidikan Profesor Abdul Wahab, dan dan wakil Dekan Fakultas Liberal Arts Sastra dan saya Kemasyarakatan, yang sebelum ini saya sebagai Dekan di sana selama 8 tahun. Beliau Muhammad Dahri adalah S1 dan S2 di Jogja dari Gajah Mada. Jadi kami tidak asing dengan antum, tetapi biarlah saya guna bahasa ASEAN, bahasa Inggris ya. Jadi just came back to the topic that we have already put as the theme of the conference, integration of knowledge at higher education of Patani University, challenges and opportunities. In fact, I myself, I can use the term Islamization, because I was the student of Prof. Nakib Alatas at one time, and I was also the students of a Triple IT gang, because I was the first batch of political science of the Kuliah of Islamic Review of Knowledge and Human Sciences, where my supervisor at that time was the current Prime Minister of Turkey. So he was the person who convinced me to take political science as the major, And I was convinced by attending his class. His first class I took with him was Introduction to Political Science, and my mind, as somebody who come from a minority country, and the country was prominently Buddhist, I was surprised when Professor Ahmad Dotoglu could convince me by teaching, all those works of Aristotle, Plato, and at the end of the months, he then shift to the ideas of Al-Madinah, Al-Fadila, and all those ideas of the realistic approach of Abdul Sina in political science and in governance, for example. So I decided, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, I'll be the student of political science. So it was the first marriage or first integration that happened in my mind between the contemporary knowledge of political science and Islamic knowledge of those kind of Islamic governance. Anyway, I think I have just 15 minutes, right? You'll be happy because the story of 17 years of Fatani University, I call it, this is the episodic journey of Jihad al-Almi of Muslims in southern Thailand. Not southern Thailand, but in Thailand. People before us were struggling by using guns and stones and knives and bombs sometimes. After 50 years, they couldn't gain what they want to put the flag in. So finally we decided, no, we better establish university, a tool of jihad, inshallah. So it is the first and only Islamic university in Thailand. We pray that our brothers can have more and more and more and do faster because khairat. The more we have universities, the more we have Islamic universities, the more we have this kind of competitions in knowledge, we believe that Muslim in Thailand will be better and better, inshallah. And our first name was Jala Islamic University. We bear the name of Islamic University for 10 years. But when they changed the name to Fatani University, we don't delete the word Islamic, but we put Islam inside Fatani. Because Fatani was Lankasuka. Fatani kingdom was Lankasuka. But once Islam came to Lankasuka, the name of Lankasuka kingdom was changed to Fatani. And there was no, once you say Fatani, it is understood that it is Islamic. So that's why we changed the name of university to Fatani University, from the word Fatana, the prophets, wisdom, the prophet. We are living in minority countries, so we have to utilize the wisdom of the prophets as much as possible. You in Indonesia, you are very lucky, quote unquote. To our rector, Yang Mulia, to rector Yunisa, Dr. Irfan, you are very lucky, quote unquote. 99% of Muslims there. And even in Indonesia, Dato, you are lucky too. But us in Thailand, we don't get any single cent from the government to build the university. Anyway, it is finally become Waqf University. Now we do have 25 buildings from Muslim countries and also from Muslim donors in the country. But alhamdulillah, after 15 years, the government of Thailand realized that we did something for the Ummah, and not only for the Ummah, because once we used to have 5 Buddhist students come to us, and finally the government of Thailand, by the name of the King of Thailand, donated the biggest building to our campus. I will show you after this. And we firstly started the university by offering Usuluddin and Sharia, because in the last 20 years or 30 years, most of Muslims there went to Middle East to study Islam, study Sharia, Usuluddin, Law Arabiya. But after some times, the Ministry of Education itself, by Higher Education Commission, said, hey, why don't you change to Islamic to university? Why don't you change to become comprehensive university? So your student can learn something else, not only Islamic studies. So this is finally becomes in line with the idea that I will talk now, that the government of Thailand is now working hard to introduce the word integration. We are in the right track. Because the TQF, the Thai Qualification Frame, or in Malaysia you call it MQA. So in this frame, in every program, in any university, be public and private, you must show in every single program that you have the scheme of integration, either mathematics and science, and mathematics and social science. Then we utilize this term to show that with social sciences and Islamic sciences. So we are in the right track where the government is happy with what we have done. So in this case, a I would like to say that the first phase of the university in 1998, oh no, not 1998, it was Yawm al-Qiyamah, I think. This just year 1998 to 2003, we were in Makkiyah period, I used to call it, because we started with Usuluddin wa Sharia. So we tried to put Iman to our students, but when we found that we are quite ready to go with some other programs, then we started having social sciences and applied sciences starting from 2004 onwards. And inshallah, we will, if we have time, I will show you the third campus that we are going, inshallah, in the very near future. Now we are constructing hospitals, 120-bed hospital, and we are providing people who are coming from Faculty of Medicine, Faculty of Nursing, and Faculty of Engineering in the future. That will be our third period. So we believe that the barakah and the barakah of the first phase of Makkiyah will be, inshallah, prosperous. Then, when we come to integration scheme for the Faculty of Islamic Studies, normally when you look at Islamic Studies in minority countries, rarely you can find people who can come and teach conventional program to Islamic Studies. So it is difficult for us. It is sometimes more difficult for Islamic Studies students to be integrated with some other programs. It is easier that you can bring political scientists, it's easier that you bring psychologists, and you tell them how to integrate into Islamic, how to bring Islamic Studies into it. But when you teach Islamic Studies, Sharia or Usuluddin, then how can you bring them, the students who have traditionally, brought up to the end of the studies, and then go to the societies and try to utilize whatever things they have learned. It is very challenging for them. Anyway, I have less time to discuss on this, but I want to show that even though we are not really getting, sponsorship by the government, but as of now, we have launched the first doctoral program this year as well. I mean, by saying launch, it is approved by the Ministry of Education last year. And inshallah, as of now, we do have students from Pakistan, and one student is applying from Hong Kong. He's the Mufti of Hong Kong. The Grand Mufti of Hong Kong is showing his interest to be students of Professor Ismail Lutfi, and we are processing his application now. And then for Masters of Sharia and History of Islamic Civilization, we do have students from China doing masters with it. We do have students from Cambodia and also from Arab countries to come and do with it. So it is very challenging to teach somebody who are not only from Thailand, who are not only having minority, kind of complex, but students who are coming from, different backgrounds. So all of the above that I mentioned is, in fact, we started from Bachelor of Sharia, Bachelor of Usuluddin. And what is interesting is, you may ask me, why Bachelor of Sharia, Bachelor of Usuluddin? And then why Bachelor of Islamic Studies? For Thai students who are not really conversant in Arabic language, so we have to offer them Islamic Studies in Thai language, and then they need it. And do you know that when we offer this course, this program in Thai, more students come to Thai program than Arabic program. Fortunately, we do have students from China and overseas students come to Usuluddin and Sharia. So alhamdulillah, we still have students enough in that area. And then when we move to the second phase of the development or the journey, we went for the Faculty of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. I was the first dean of this program. And then in this faculty, we do have project of PhD in Arabic language and literature next year, and then Masters in Arabic language and literature. Now we are doing it, we are having it. Masters in Political Science, and then for Bachelor program, we do have this kind of public administration, economic, finance and banking, business administration, Arabic language, Malay and English languages. So what is interesting here is this: we do have lots of lecturers who can help us coming to teach, but at the same time, when your goal is to integrate, it is not easy. We got it at one hand, we have ulama, and on the other hand, we do have experts on political science, on economic, which those who graduated from Thai universities or even public universities overseas. But when you want to bring both of them into the same rooms of the department, it is not easy. But that's why sometimes we ask them to teach when we try to recruit them at the first time, just to look at them, how long we have to work with them in order for them to teach the subject that we will assign them. So this is our challenge. And then it is another big challenge for Thai Muslims is this. We were normally called the poorest of the country, and kurang pintar, yaitu bodoh. Because if you look at IQ tests of people in 3 areas, 3 provinces of Thailand, we are the lowest. If you look at the GDP of the 3 provinces, we are the lowest. But do you know that people who are living in 3 provinces of Thailand are those who are having passports more than some other areas of the country? Can you imagine the one who got passport has no visions of traveling? Can you imagine that the one who has passports have no ideas of tradings? But normally the Muslims don't put money in the banks, they do something else. And you look at the numbers of pilgrimage or Hujjaj from southern Thailand to Mecca, every year we do have 8,000, and each of them are ready to pay because they got the money already. The only thing is that the money is not rolling in the bank. So I deny when they say that you are the poorest of the country, but we are the richest. Well, and then when we talk about we are the most stupid, okay, this is don't record it. Why? Because when they bring all those IQ tests or whatever tests, the test is in Thai language. Dan orang Melayu yang agak 50-an, 60-an itu mereka nggak bisa baca bahasa Thai gitu. Tapi semuanya mereka bisa baca Al-Quran untuk salat. So can you imagine that somebody who can pray, who can be even Imam, Allahu Akbar, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, he's illiterate or not? So this is the idea. So when it comes to time that we are going to offer Faculty of Sciences and teach technology, the ministry come and ask us to, they want to come and see how can we do it. Fortunately, we got the building from Qatar government, we got the biggest building that time, so we could convince that Muslim is not stupid, but give us opportunities, and we can do it well. Anyway, we have now the Bachelor of Science in Applied Chemistry, Applied Biology, and Information Technology. But one thing that I would like to show that this is our new innovation in our, not only in our university, but in Thailand, is that Bachelor of Science in Research and Development in Halal Product. We combined 3 programs, Prof. Dato. We brought science, student studies, biology, chemistry, all this kind of thing. At the same time, they also have to take courses on Sharia, halal, haram, all this kind of thing. And we said that normally when they know scientific things, then they know those kind of principles of Islam or halal, haram, but they don't know how to do marketing. We want them to be by themselves, somebody who can do business. So we put more programs in business studies. So this is a 3-in-1. And alhamdulillah, for those who visited our universities, especially from UNISA and some of the breaks or refreshments that we brought for you during your visit, those are their products. They do research on those kind of halal things, refreshments and even drinks. Then we will ask them to serve our guests with those products. And just in first year, they can produce, special kind of food and a special kind of basic cosmetic for you people. So we are standing in 2 legs. The first leg is food, halal food. The second leg is halal cosmetic. So this is that's why I say that this jihad is very interesting for our people inside the Thailand. Well, for the Faculty of Education, we realize that we do have a lot of schools on the Pondok. Our university is in fact starting from Pondok. So this journey is from Pondok to university. We started just like Gontor here, from modern Pondok, finally you become university. So we were teaching in Pondok, we were living in Pondok, we were graduates of Pondok. Finally we thought that if we want to have more and more Pondoks, so we will lose our strength. So finally, people, instead of going to Pondok, to be more in Pondok, we call them to be in faculties. We call them to be in more in departments. Finally, we can collect all those people to be in one university. This is what we are doing. And then you can see the program that some people who graduated from Azhar, from Medina, from Jordan. When they come back, they cannot teach. They need this kind of teaching diploma, so that's why we offer that. And we are very close in this sense with the government of Thailand, because they are happy when we produce this kind of thing. They are afraid of people who graduated from Arab countries, from Middle East, to become terrorists, to become some other things. So when they come to be with us for 1 year or 1.5 years in a diploma program, they believe that we could change their mentalities and somebody become good citizens of Thailand. So among other things, teaching of Islamic studies, teaching science, teaching Arabic language, teaching Malay language. Okay. Since we do have international students, so this is also another challenges that whenever we produce our student, bagus ataupun tidak, itu nggak apa-apa karena dalam teritori kita aja. But when we have more international students coming in, then if they are bad, if they don't consume whatever we are teaching, they will bring this bad thing home. So we are very concerned of that. And then these are programs that categorized by the Ministry of Education as international program, because in Thailand, if you offer a program and with the application to Ministry of Education, you don't say that it's international program, that will be considered local program. You can teach in Thai only. Then English will be just subjects, Arabic will be just subjects. So if you want to be international program, you have to state it in your proposals of your program, saying that, okay, PhD in Islamic Studies international program. So you can accept international students, you can teach in other languages. You can supervise students to write thesis in any language. So Sharia, Suluddin, political science, for masters, we make it international by allowing students to come and teach, to come and study and write thesis in English. Computer science, Suluddin. But for BA Sharia, we cannot make it international program because those students who are taking Sharia, they must take programs in law and Thai law. And Thai law is, Thai law must be in Thai only because we have never been colonized by anyone. So we were proud of that. But quote unquote, I don't know, good or bad. That's why we can't speak English well. We can't speak any, no, we were never colonized. So that's why Thai law will be taught only in Thai. So students overseas cannot come to Sharia in our university because they have to take courses in Arabic for Sharia courses, but they have to take Thai courses in Thai. Only students from overseas can come and join us is from Laos because they read the same text with us. Yes. Okay, I will go faster. So this is the list of students that we recruit from overseas. We have 8 students from Malaysia, from 4 states. We were not ready to recruit Malaysian students because we just, we are living in minority countries, we are very weak, we are so small, but unfortunately they come. So how can you say no to them? Because all our money. Sorry to say, no, sorry for that. Indonesia, we have got from Aceh, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, Philippines, and Singapore will be next 2 years, and Brunei. I would like to say to you here, we are not ready to take all the students. But when they look at our syllabus, they found that at least they can take conventional courses from us and they can take also non-conventional courses. Then finally we try to put them, and because of that, they do keep on sending students to us. And for North Asia, we do have a Chinese student came in 1999. Just 1 year when we finish our establishment, next year they come. Hong Kong will be next year, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, Mongolia. Southeast Asia, we did have Sri Lanka, Pakistan we are doing now, and Saudi Arabia and Iran. From Europe, we do have students from Sweden, France, and inshallah in next 2 years we do have Ittifaqiyah with International University of Sarajevo. So we will exchange students from Bosnia and Albania to our university. From the state, we have 1 or 2. And then from Africa, we have Senegal, Sudan, Somalia, and Mauritania. Well, how many minutes more, Prof? 5. Okay. No. Al-Dhulmu Dhulumat Yamul Qiyamah. So I cannot do dhulm to all of them because lunch is coming. Well, my great-grandfather used to be the first Muslim minister in Thailand, and he always told me that he was the only Muslim who wear songkok in cabinet, and even in the parliament he had never took it off. He took off when he was not in parliament. In the parliament, at the cabinet meeting, he wore it, and always whenever he prayed, the prime minister asked everyone to stop, even not stop smoking, because respecting my great grandfather to pray. Anyway, so he told me that, Shukri, be careful. When people are sleeping, don't talk. And when people are hungry, don't talk. I will stop talking. But I'll make it very short. For challenges and opportunity. For the curriculum development, we put all the subjects that Prof. Abdul Hamid has mentioned, those worldview, Islamic worldview, all those kind of things in general education. And for general education, the problem is here. The problem is this: when we do have international students and they require to teach general subjects in, okay, 3 minutes. Just now you said SSLI. Anyway, our challenges are in terms of curriculum development and textbook development. Yes, Prof. Abdul Hamid, I do agree with you. I graduated from UIA. Even now, the department I studied before, they don't have enough textbook yet. Civilization of Political Science. I go and went and ask my friend who is now the head department. He said, it doesn't mean that they cannot do it. It doesn't mean that they don't really do it, want to do it. But it's not easy to produce textbook. So that's why textbook development is not easy. More and more, we do have to do it in Thai, English, Arabic, and Malay. And to train experts is not easy as well. And then one thing which is good, that when the government look at our integration scheme, is the strength, is the national strength. And when we integrate at higher education, Islamic studies with some other programs, so we are the only university that doing it out of 178 universities in Thailand. Well, I will stop. You gave me 3 minutes. I will stop with photos of witnesses that what we have done, and then this is the area that we do integration. We try to integrate with the people. And can you imagine last 10 years, the area around the university was Satu Relong. I don't know how to measure it. Close, smaller than acre. Satu Relong just 25,000 baht. Last 10 years. But now, in front of the university, the same size is 7 million baht. Can you imagine the barakah of integration? Once the university go there and integrate, those days we do have just 2 not even mini mart, just kedai-kedai runcit gitu aja. But now we have more than 20 mini marts from the along the road to the main roads. This is barakah. You see, this is and then this is masjid. I start with this Islamization or integration of university. Director said I start with the masjid. I start with salah. I start with iman. So in every salah dhuhr, he said, for Asri, Maghrib, Subuh, it's up to you. You believe in Allah, you do it. But Zuhur, everyone come and pray, and then we can listen to 5 minutes speech by rector, and then he will ask, he let everyone salam, salam, salam. So this is the way that we try to put together the feeling of ukhuwah. And this is the stories of how we get approval of establishment by the Ministry of Education. This is the president of the Universities Council. He was the then Deputy Prime Minister of Thailand. He's Muslim. And he was also the Speaker of the Parliament. And he was also the Ministry of Home Affairs. And this is another person who is also Muslim. He was then the Minister of Home Affairs, and also the Deputy General of Ministry of Home Affairs as well. He's Mr. Ari. This is, I think, for those who know about the coup d'etat, the one who bring taxing down is this one. And he's also our vice president of the Universities Council. And this man is from different party, this man from different party. And the president of the university is with Thaksin, and the one who is his vice president is against Thaksin. Can you imagine that our university can integrate this kind of thing? With barakah, with masjid. They pray behind Professor Lutfi, but in fact, for the political ideology in Thailand, they are different. This is Sheikhul Islam of Thailand. He passed away already. This is the current Sheikhul Islam. We got people from Qatar, from Kuwait to come help us. Whenever we do program, we must consider where is army, where is police, where is the politician, where it is. So this is very interesting for people living in minority atmosphere. This is Sheikh Turki. He came to us for Dr. Fakhriya, Rabita Secretary General. And then, unfortunately, I'm sorry. This is, I don't ask your permission. This is Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. He came for the honorary doctorate in the management in our university as well, because we will have Patani Jaya. So we heard that he did something in Patani Jaya, so we asked him to become our advisor. So this is the photos that I would like to show that this is our international students, and this is our Buddhist student studying with us. Yep. And this building, okay, we do practice Fastabiqul Khairat. So this building given by Qatar government, Faculty of Islamic Studies, and also the Rectorate building. But for the Faculty of Social Sciences, we got it from Kuwait. Then Qatar came again. Qatar said, no, we want to be bigger. So Qatar gave us this building, Faculty of Science Technology. Then we invite Emirates to come. Emirates said, what more do you want? I said, okay, now we want Faculty of Education. So Prabhupada got from Emirates. Again, you know, Kuwait and Saudi said, no, we want to do masjid together. Okay, we got masjid. Then the president of the university, who is Muslim, local Muslim, he said, okay, we local people want also to give something. So we got this hall. Then we got this one for the president, the council building. And finally, as I told you before, this is the biggest building given by Thai government for education in Thailand. We paid tax for 100 years, more than 100 years, but now this tax came back to Muslim people. And I would like to say that this is the works done by this man. This work by Professor Ismail Lutfi, and this is Waqaf University. It does not belong to me, not belong to Prof. Wahab, but it belongs to all of you who are here with La ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah. And this is in fact Da'wah Haliyah. Look, this is his position. And university is the secretariat for Inter-Religious Council of Thailand, where we do have 5 religions working together. And Professor Lutfi is the co-chairman of this program. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the last speaker of our keynote speakers. It is become quite clear from what we are listening now from Pak Hamid, then Prof. Dr. Datuk Musa, then from Dr. Abdul Nasir, and lastly from our beloved brother, Professor Shukri. It's quite clear that it is very challenging task, especially for Islamic universities, to find the concept of integration between Akli and Nakli, between Ulum Akliyah as well as Ulum Nakliyah. Hopefully we still have at least half day for today, and tomorrow we are trying to elaborate more deeper concerning this concept. As far as I understand, after this one we are going to have lunch and prayer zuhur. Then we have 4 clusters after this one. Let me tell you about the places for this cluster. Cluster 1 and cluster 2 talking mainly about still the concept of integration. Cluster 1 will be in this main hall. Cluster 2 will be in the same main hall but at the first floor. Cluster 3 concerning about the method of integration will be at postgraduate hall. Then cluster 4, it is concerning about the importance of language in integration, will be at Hotel Unida, second floor. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end, and thank you very much for our speakers. Let's give them applause all. Thank you, and I'll return the time and opportunity for master ceremony. Thank you.
سيداتي وسادتي، وصلنا إلى نهاية هذا المؤتمر. ختاما لهذا البرنامج تعالوا نقرأ دعاء كفارة المجلس. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Before closing, we have a few announcements to make. We'd like to announce there will be a meeting for all rectors at 1:20 or 1:20 past p.m. in the rectoral office. The second announcement, we'd like to announce a meeting of all professors of Alumni Gontor at 1 p.m. or 1:20 p.m. on the ground floor of the postgraduate building for discussion of the postgraduate program and curriculum. And also we'd like to announce the places for taking of lunch. 1, all rectors will take their lunch in the rector's office. 2, all other members of delegation and presenters and lecturers will take their lunch at the assembly point of this building. 3, all female or male students, graduate and postgraduate, will take lunch in their rooms. And also, and with great pleasure, we also announced that the students of UNIDA have made some stands downstairs and some outlets of their own creation. So we hope that you take the time to have a look around and see what they've produced. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program, so we'd like to express our sincere appreciation. Also wish to convey our gratitude for your participation. Shukran jazilan. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mohon perhatian kepada segenap hadirin, dimohon untuk